It is now Monday morning. I just dropped off at the airport. This guy is going to Panama to see a solar eclipse. Time is now 4:57. I got 1 hour left to go. I also have $460 on because I was busy most of the night and I got a few longer trips. So that's pretty good. The cold that I had a week ago, or was it a week ago? Whatever. My voice is still a little bit hoarse, but I don't think I'm sick anymore. I'm just a bit congested in the throat. Oh yeah, it was a long night, a long night, a long night. A very long night. I don't really have that much to say, except that I'm tired. So I got 4 more nights to go this week, and I'll call you. I'll let you know how they went when I get to them. Until then. The time is now 12:56 a.m. And I would not have been doing a segment at this hour, except that I just had a harrowing experience. So far it's been a busy night. It's like I said, 12:56, and I've got over 300 on right now. That's phenomenal, considering that I still have another 5 hours left to go. Well, let's say 4.5, because I gotta wash the car before going to the chiropractor. I dropped somebody off, and then I got a call to go to the Indian Reserve, to the reservation. I went there, and I stopped and picked up this woman who was crying. She was crying her eyes out. She was just crying. And she gave me an address to go to, and I was on my way there, and then she wanted to play the music. So I turned the radio on, but it was way too loud and it was all in front, so I had to figure out how to put it to the back and tone it down so I wouldn't get deafened by the damn thing. So I did that, and got the radio adjusted, and she was crying some more and crying some more, and sometimes she would say something that didn't make any sense, and other times she was singing along with the radio. And I finally got her to her destination, and she asked me to call somebody on her phone, but the person that I was supposed to call was not in her contacts. So I don't know what the number is to call this person, but I just called. I ended up calling the last person that she had called on the phone, who happened to be one of her daughters, who was not there at that house where we had gone to. So she said, I'll call my sister and she'll come out. So the girl came out, and she paid for the cab after we'd been sitting there for about 20 minutes. And with the meter paused. Anyway, the girl came out and paid for the cab, and I thought, okay, they're gone, they're going. Then the woman in the back seat started, she was the mother of the girl who paid, started giving the girl who was walking away shit and yelling at her. And then she says, I just want to go along the water. So we're driving along the water, and now the meter's going again. It hasn't been, part of it had been paid, but not all of it. So she went for a ride and went up the road, and when we got to a stop sign, I said, okay, where do you want to go to now? She says, home. I said, and home is the address where we were at? And she says, yes. So we go there again. Then she calls her mother to come out. So it's 3 generations here. And the mother is angry. She's saying, you shouldn't be drinking here. I have kids here. I don't want no drinking here. Anyway, she paid the extra $13 after her daughter had said, it's only $13. I'll pay you back for it. Okay, fine, great. So now the old mother went back into the house, and the younger girl and the woman in the back seat were still here. She was taking forever to put her sweater on and to gather her things and get out. Anyways, I spent an hour with this woman who had been kicked out of her boyfriend's house on the reserve. Just put it this way. There is nothing worse than spending an hour with a drunk Indian. Just saying. Sometimes when it rains, it absolutely pours. And this time, I don't know if it's a new moon or what crazy wacko thing is going on, but it's been a strange one. I had a couple of affairs after that drunken First Nations woman, and then someone had text messaged me and asked me if it was possible to drop off a Mickey. And then I asked, drop it off where? And she says, oh, at my place. Oh, your place. Okay, fine. I'll see if I have anything. I'll see if there's any whiskey left in my private stash. Of course there was. I just had to find the appropriate bottle. Something that was cheap and good enough and was not going to allow the shakes to continue. So I did that. As I was going to drop that off, I got a call from my very generous customer. My very generous customer called me up, and I asked him, how you doing? And he says, oh, I've been better. And I said, yeah, me too. He says, well, what's wrong? I said, I've been dealing with idiots all night. And he says, oh, I'll make it up to you. Well, I said, okay, I can be by in about 20 minutes. Since it was in the same direction as going to drop off the Mickey of booze. So I dropped off the Mickey, and things turned out okay over there. And then I went to my generous customer, who came out of the house when I called him. And he's trying to phone somebody, but he gets the message when he tries to call somebody that the customer he's trying to reach is not available and to try at a later time. He says, why don't people leave their phone on? I say, well, you know, it is 3 in the morning and they're probably sleeping, so they have their phone shut off. Anyways, then I'm trying to figure out what he wants from me. And then he gives me a $100 bill. And I ask him, well, what do you want me to do for you? Do you want me to take you someplace? And he says, every time I was out of booze, you came through for me. And I said, yeah, but I'm not a bootlegger, okay? This is from my private stock if I help you out with that. And he says, oh no, that's fine. And he tries to call somebody else on the phone. And meanwhile, I'm getting calls on this thing telling me to go pick somebody up. and I can't. So I just say, I'm gonna have to turn on the meter so that these people will stop pestering us. Okay, so I turn on the meter, and now this thing didn't beep at us anymore. Great. So he tries to call somebody else. The customer you're trying to reach is not available at this time. Try again later. Okay. And I say, do you want to go somewhere? Is there anything else I can do? He says, no. Are we okay? Are we good? I said, well, we're more than good. I owe you some change on that 100. He says, oh, no, you don't. I said, okay. He says, I'm going to go now. Thank you. I said, I gave him thanks. This was Thanksgiving after all. I gave him thanks for the $100. And then I got sent on another call, which was a $33 fare. I just counted all the money I've got from tonight. I'm at about $520. And it's only 4:09. I have almost an hour and a half left to go. And that's allowing time for washing the car for the owner and giving me enough time to get to the chiropractor. If nothing really eventful happens from now on, this is it for tonight. And that would be 3 more nights to go this week. Well, just after I recorded that last segment, guess what happened? It didn't take me long to turn off the phone, and now I got sent to the airport. Had another fare. This one was another 66 bucks. So I'm at about $586. Wow. That's just crazy. $586. This may be the biggest night of the year. It's had the most drama, that's for sure. And probably the most money. Oh my goodness. And I still got, the time is 4:40, so I still got, well, I got enough time to get back into town and maybe do one more fare before I have to wash the car and go to the bank and make a deposit and fuel up and go to the chiropractor. That's how this one ends. Time is now 5:25 in the morning. It is Wednesday morning, so this is the next day after that crazy hectic one where it seemed to be a new moon or something, and I had something like $580 on at the end of the shift. Tonight, I got in the high 200s somewhere. I didn't count everything yet, but it's somewhere in the high 200s. Yeah. That's okay, that's fine. I had lots of opportunities to watch videos and go to sleep between fares in the morning, which was really nice and really good. And I did like that. I liked that a lot. And so this night was more one of relaxing and recuperating. And now I've got somebody asking me to pick them up in town. Yeah. So after this one, I've got 2 more nights to go this week. And I don't feel much like talking at the moment. So I'll be back tomorrow. This one was a very slow night. It took me until midnight to break even. So I had my expenses on around midnight. And in the morning I got a little lucky and I had a bigger fare. I had a $49 fare that went out to Brentwood Bay, and that was putting me into profit mode. And since then I've had like 1 trip an hour, and a few of them were a little longer, and so I ended up with, I think, something like $234 grand total at the end of the night. Only $7 of which was cash. Everything was Interac tonight. Everything. Interac, everything. The time is now 5:46, so if I get another call, I'm reluctant to do it. Depends what it is. I might do it anyway. I'm gonna head over to the car wash and wash the car. It's a foggy morning, at least down here in town it's foggy. It gets clear as you head north out of town. Oh yeah. Head over to the car wash, wash the car. Detail the interior. Fuel it. Park it. I can't go to the bank to make a deposit because I still have my float from the whole night, but I didn't make any bills. I got $7 in coins. That's all the cash I made all night. This is the first time I think I've had only one cash transaction for the whole night, and everything else was Interac. There were no company charges, there were no anything else, just Interac. Oh, okay, Interac and credit, but to me there's no difference between the two, they're all the same. Yeah, go to the car wash and wash it. Not much else to say about tonight. I got to watch a lot of YouTube, and I got to fall asleep numerous times. There was one point where I had 3 hours between trips. So naturally, I slept most of that time. Yeah, 1 more night to go this week. And then the week is over after doing 1 more night. Time is now 5:05 in the morning on a Friday. It was a strange night. It was another one of those where it was quiet at the beginning. There was nothing going on. I was getting 1 trip an hour, and it took me until 1 o'clock to break even. Till 1 o'clock to get my expenses on. It was just really hard. Well, it was still quiet till 3 o'clock. And then after 3, I started getting busy. I started getting busy with longer trips, good tips, and one call right after another. And I don't like working that way because, you know, at the beginning you're resigned to not working hard, and you just want to relax, and you're relaxing and you're relaxing, and then you're getting a rude awakening towards the end of the night that you're getting one trip after another. And I'm in the relaxing mode. I'm not in the working mode. I don't feel like working hard now. Anyway, that's the way it went. I've got about $315 on, $320, something like that. And at 1 o'clock, I didn't have 100 yet. And at 3, I had about 140 on. So now I've got over 300 since 3 o'clock, and now it's 5:06. So yeah, I worked hard the last little while. Now I dropped off in the Western Communities, dropped off in Langford, and now I'm heading back to Victoria, or heading back to Saanich anyway. I don't go all the way down into Victoria. It's not where I want to be. So I usually hang out in Saanich and wait there. So the only things I got to do this morning is fuel up, add up the Interacs, put the Interacs in the glove box, and get paid, or pick up my money on Sunday, the next time I go to work. I'm second car in zone 78, so chances are I'm not going to get a call before I'm back on the highway heading into town, so that's all right. It was one of those weeks. It was touch and go. The first 2 nights were insanely busy. Then it really slowed down for the Tuesday night, and the Wednesday night was quieter still. But I ended up doing okay because of the morning. But I don't like to work that way. I don't like it to be slow and then pick up. I like it to be busier and then slow down, so I can relax. But I hate being rushed, especially in the morning after a slow night. I've said that already, haven't I? I think I'm repeating myself. I hope yours is better than